Hello and welcome, Adam Thomas from Bouncing Touch Reflexology. So good to see you, and thanks for joining me. Well, we continue on our journey through difficult or tricky reflexes. And this is a series that I wanted to put together because some reflexes are just a little bit tricky to find or even tricky to work. And some are just, a bit like, oh, you've been showing it and you can't really remember or find the exact landmarks or where it is that reflex sits. So I just wanted to put these videos together to hopefully help clarify any questions that you might have. And today I want to tackle a very, very important one, especially in today's world, and that is the adrenal gland. So the adrenal glands, love this one. More than ever, this is a great chance to pay the adrenal gland reflex a lot of attention, right? There's lots going on right now in our worlds, and there's a lot that we have to juggle that we weren't used to juggling before. Things have changed, things have moved around. There's a new reality that a lot of us are facing right now. And so having a tool like reflexology and having access to our feet and working the adrenal gland is just going to be that much more better for us, right? So, and not only what's going on in the world right now, but stress in general in life. No matter how the world's going, there's always stress. There's always things going on. There's good, positive stress. There's negative affecting stress. There's things like that. And the adrenal glands are right in the core of it all, battling it out with us. So this is a really great reflex to get good at and understand where it is. And it is a little bit difficult to find, right? And I'll show you in a minute some great ways to do it. But I think one of the biggest ones is just grabbing your own feet. And I'll also show you a little demo of myself showing you how I work it. And then once you have and able to find it on yourself, it's easier to translate onto your client. So that's a really great thing. So the adrenal glands are really amazing. So the most common thing is we know about the release of adrenaline, and which causes the liver to basically release a bunch of sugar or energy, right? So that our body can either fight or run away from a threat, right? So that's sort of the stress, the fight or flight response stress, right? So that's something that we're really familiar with as far as when you say adrenals, right? So other than that, the adrenal glands are involved in about 50 different functions and also many different hormones, right? They help fight infections, aid in muscle tone, make extra estrogen and testosterone, right? They help regulate the lymph glands, and they also help with the body's mineral balance. They fight fatigue and allergies and viruses and help clear up the bronchioles, right? So this is a really great gland to work often, and this is a one that you can never go wrong with. If you've only got a couple of minutes and you need a couple of reflexes to work, include this one for sure. Like, this is one that you never want to leave out. And it tends to be a bit sore, and that can be, it usually is, right? A bit sore, because it's always doing 50 functions and looking after this. So it's going to be a little bit fatigued and stuff in general, right? So let's go take a look at how I work it and some of the best ways to work it on yourself. Okay, so looking at the feet here, the adrenal gland, they sit on top of the kidneys, right? And so in another video on the series, I talked about the kidneys, so you can go watch that if you don't know exactly where the kidneys are. But diaphragm line, hip line is going to be right in the center under the main toes there, right? So the adrenal gland, though, is found a little bit more medially, and it's going to be under the big toe. And for this one, the tricky thing about it is it's really a feel thing. You gotta really know where it is. So the way that I've found it is I would just slide down to whereabouts it's going to be. So it's going to be between diaphragm line and hip line here, on the medial side under the big toe. And then you're going to feel a little indent or a little space that your thumb is naturally going to be drawn to. Okay, so you're just going to feel that, and you will actually feel a bit of a hard area. Okay, so as I'm feeling around, I can feel a little bit of a hard area right in there. The trick to this one is, see, I get right in the client's space here. I actually go right over top of the other foot because I want to be hooking exactly medially. And again, the little elbow trick, sticking out wherever your elbow is pointing, right, is the direction your thumb is going to be hooking, right? So hooking this way, my elbow's this way, right? So it's going to be following the same line. So I get my elbow out nice and straight, so I get my thumb right on that point, and you're sort of hooking around it. So if this was it here, you can kind of feel a tender spot like that, okay? And so you're going to want to get on the, I guess in this instance, it'll be the lateral side of it, right? And then you're going to just go around like that, and then what you're going to be doing is hooking, sort of digging in and around, so almost hooking in and pulling medially, okay? So it's kind of that action. So if I put it and translate it onto the foot here, you're going to find that nice little area, okay? So I found it there, and you're going to be hooking out that way. So it looks like this. I'm going to be hooking and pulling, right? And I can actually feel from the client that I have the right spot because there's a little bit of resistance, because this point tends to be tender, right? Because as we've already discussed in great detail, the adrenals are so important in the body and their 50 functions and hormones and all that stuff that we already talked about. But so there, it is going to be under a little bit of, it's going to be tender. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So again, hook in and hook medially, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that's the adrenals. Okay, so simple enough, but to get it right can be a little bit difficult, and you might have to do a little bit of searching around. And as I'll show you in a bit, just the best thing is for you to work on it. Work on your own feet to get the best feel for it, because then you'll know exactly where it is and how it feels as well, right? Because it's one of the points that tend to be always sore, right? But again, if you like feather touch it and the client jumps out of the chair, you know that there's more of an issue there than just regular levels of stress, right? So there you go. Okay, so when looking at the adrenal gland here, it's going to be found on the medial side of the foot here. And again, I did sort of make a mistake before. I was saying it was a diaphragm line to the hip line, but it's actually the waistline here. So where that bone comes out in between there, that's where the kidney is. So, but we're going to find the adrenal gland more on the medial side of the foot here. Okay. So, and again, the best thing is to grab your foot as best as you can and just feel for a little point. Remember, it is going to be a bit more sensitive. So to use the guideline, find the diaphragm line and the waistline. So it's going to be halfway between there, right? But I find it just to be a little bit above because the center of the kidney is found right there, right? But it's a little bit above. It's closer to the diaphragm line there. But you'll feel it. So if you slide along, if there was a corner of the foot here, I would slide down, and right about there, you'll feel a nice little indent, almost little hard area, but it's definitely there. And when you're working on yourself, you'll find and be able to feel where it is exactly, right? So just feel around. Don't be afraid to explore the whole area to find out where it is that the exact center of it is, right? And so Again, it's going to be on, there's sort of a tendon that runs down here. It's going to be on we'll say the lateral side, because it's the lateral side of the foot. Go in there. And again, so what you want to do here with your elbow is be in line with the way that I'm sitting anyway. I'm in line with your leg because that's going more medially, right? So it's going to be pulling out this way. Almost like it's pushing upwards, but it's going to be more out, okay? Just like that. So just get in there and really push it in. 1, 2, 3. But again, this is really a feel thing, so you know how it feels. So try it there, move it around. Okay, it doesn't feel like anything there. Feels a little bit different, not quite there. Well, there it is. Right, you'll search around and you'll find it. But yeah, again, the best thing to do is just to grab your own foot, feel where it's kind of a good ouch feeling if there's anything like that. But that's what it's like. It's like a good ouch. It's a nice kind of a pain, right? And you just kind of work it. And because I'm, able to work it on myself, I probably might add a little bit more pressure because I can see and feel a lot more control, right? So I'll just really get in there and work the whole area as well. I won't be afraid to move around because that's also going to be, it's getting into the spine reflexes, right? Which is really great as well. So it's on the inside of the spine reflexes, right in there. You'll feel it. There it is, right there. Okay. So again, best thing to do is to work on yourself. So that's how I work the adrenal gland. If you have any suggestions on different ways that you work it and find it, love to hear about it in the comment below. Again, this is a series that I've been talking about difficult, tricky reflexes, and in the description below you'll find a link to the playlist. So anytime I upload a new video, you'll be able to see it there. And if you haven't subscribed already, then that's the best way to follow these series. So yeah, until next time, Adam Thomas from Balancing Touch Reflexology. Keep those feet happy. Bye-bye. Let me know what you thought of this video by leaving a comment below. Any type of feedback can be useful. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. And if you found it useful, feel free to share it with anybody who might be interested. Make sure that you have subscribed to this channel if you haven't already. And make sure that you hit, or better yet, step on that bell icon so you know when the next video is coming out. And if you have some more time, why don't you check out some other videos? Till next time, this is Adam Thomas from balancingtouch.ca.